just want to talk about kind of just if I could leave any advice to you guys. This is what I would leave. So I've been an active member of Student Organization for 4 years. So this will be my final go around.
Yeah, that's what I was on.
I started out under 54th session, Speaker Tanner Wilson, was the chief, not the chief, wow, no. I was an associate justice on the judicial court. Then was a senator under Mr. Bowen's tenure as speaker, with Mr. McNutt as well. We were all in his together, and that was just fun and joy. But with 4 years comes a lot of things to learn. And how much?
You have 3 minutes.
Okay, so just 4 things for 4 years.
It's literally so close to working.
One, just if I could give the first piece of advice is that there's a difference between taking your job seriously and being omnipotent and omniscient. And so with that, what that means is that you are held to the highest of standards as a student here. You are the representative of all of the students in your constituency, which for many of you, that's thousands. Geoscience is thousands, but a little less than all. But just know that when we read this mission statement and these core values, that you are expected to uphold those and be an example for everybody else on this campus. You are a campus leader. Please keep that in mind. Also, respect. As a leader, we have to respect others. That includes those that we may not even know. And I think this body has had a past history of perhaps having issues with that. And I just hope that in the future we can learn to respect each other a little more, especially people that consider this place to be home. Next, communication is key. You cannot succeed as a body without effective communication, and that's within the organization as a whole, and to the governing branches, to the committees, to the commissions, and to the students. We're not effective as a body if we're not talking to students, if we're not garnering feedback. And so I would encourage you to just please communicate. It's okay to disagree. We're going to disagree. But at the same time, disagreement causes intellectual conversation. And so be the starter of that, please. Next, don't take shortcuts. This organization is way too important and way too pivotal on this campus to be taking the easy way out. It's never about the easy way out. We have the potential to make absolutely beautiful things happen on this campus. If you didn't look at the front page of the Bat this morning, this is student governance. And this is what happens when we all work together. This made me tear up. It's incredible. This is amazing. If you haven't read it, it's one thing. We've done several things this year. But to see us make a difference in somebody's life for the better, that's something worth being proud of. And you guys were part of that. So thank you, and congratulations to you for making that happen. Next, Rome wasn't built in a day. So people are going to make mistakes. Whoever's running for these positions, they're people. They're not gods, although sometimes they wish they were. But we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. The 99 things we do, and you find one out of those, the 99, somebody's going to complain. Give them a break. They're doing a hard job. They're representing the organization that represents students, okay? That's a big shoe to fill. So encourage them. Don't break them down. They've got a lot to do, and they're a student, a full-time student on top of that. Finally, remember, your job is to serve. Sometimes that means fighting higher authority. Sometimes that means disagreeing with people who have a 6-figure paycheck to run this institution. Sometimes that means being brave and going and stepping up in front of the board of regents to say, hey, let's not make the money, the bill for everybody that has to come here a little higher. Let's bring it down. But remember that the best leader is one that serves. And I'll leave you with this quote from one of my favorites, Bob Dylan. You may be a businessman or some high-degree thief. They may call you a doctor or they may call you chief, but you're going to have to serve somebody. Yes, indeed, you're going to have to serve somebody. Serve people, make it better, work hard.
Right. No, now you can move to your questions. Are there any questions for Speaker Uyghur?
Yes.
Speaker Uyghur, Senator Hutton off campus. Is there anything that you didn't cover in your speech that you would like to cover?
Somehow I made it to the 4th point right as that time concluded. But I think if I could add anything is that I think the most important point was point 4, that your job as a leader is to serve. The best leaders are people that serve. And so, as Bob Dylan says, you're going to have to serve somebody. And so with that, you're serving the people that put you here in the first place. And so that means listening to what they want and what they need and doing everything in your power to make it happen, like something we saw this morning. That's when we all communicated, like I said. That's when exec, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch all work together to get something amazing done for students. And I know that if we keep that up and we continue to go out of our way to serve, this will be a regular.
Thank you.
So will you go to Yale or Pepperdine?
But okay. For those of you who didn't know, I'm going to law school. I also have Berkeley. So I'm not going to Yale because I didn't apply to Yale. But I did get into Pepperdine today. But I believe I'm a little too hasty for Pepperdine and Malibu. But I'm going to go visit and see if I can learn.
All right, are there any other questions? All right, that was a good question.
Thank you.
I will go ahead and get back to you.
Okay, so everyone could please come forward. We're going to swear you in. So everyone, you would
Why can't we see them where we're at?
Huh? We can do it from your seats. I just need a picture. Let's just do it from your seats. I can get a better picture.
Panorama.
There
There you go.
All right, well, howdy, I'm Brenton Cooper. I am the outgoing Chief Justice, and I think this is the most amount of people I've sworn in at once. So go ahead and hold up your right hand and just repeat after me. I state your name.
I,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of Student Senator
the duties of the office of Student Senator
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same,
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body,
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body,
and to promote good relations
and to promote good relations
between the students
between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
Congratulations.
Okay,
There you go. There you go.
so now to the nitty-gritty. So we are going to move into officer elections. So how this is going to work, because many of you feel big what you're doing. Depending on, okay, gotta stay in order. It's way too important to be checked. So, we're gonna start with speaker first, but that's all your agenda goes to. Then whomever the speaker is after that, we'll set the agenda and we'll go for the rest of the time. So right now, focusing on that. So what I will do, I will open up the floor for nominations. If you have a nomination, please raise your placard and we will write that down. There will need to be a second for that nomination. Once I have closed the period of nomination, it's not open. Once I close the period of nomination, we will then move into the presentation period. Each presenter will have 10 minutes to make their presentation. They will get a 5-minute question and answer period, which does have the privilege of being extended. Once that's done, if they have a character witness, that person will also get 5 minutes to testify on their behalf. And I've heard from every single person and every single character witness had every single question and answer period. All of those individuals, well, technically, everybody will be gone, and it'll just be us. And we will have a period of unlimited debate. So it's still 2.5 per recognition. So if you're debating for somebody, 1, 2, 3, depending on how many people are running. So 2.5 per 1, 2, 3. But the time for that 2.5 to occur, if you do 15 minutes of it or 60, it's unlimited. So bear that in mind. With that being said, get the timer ready. I will now open the floor for nominations for speaker. Henderson, I saw you.
Henderson Engineering, I'd like to nominate Joseph Hood.
Mr. Hood, do you accept?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And Darcy. So Hood will go first. there any other nominations?
Senator Dean, off campus, I nominate Senator Aaron Mitchell.
Mitchell, you accept.
Yes, I have to hear that.
And there have been multiple seconds. Are there any further nominations before I close this? They were full today, why not? Mr. Gore, you accept. He's not here, so that'll be no. He's in the sun. Are there any other nominations?
Senator Sonka, engineering, I nominate
There are multiple seconds. Mr. Sosa, do you accept?
I respect who you are.
Are there any other nominations on the floor? Senator Beebe.
Media Beep, Senator Vince. I nominate Abigail Hutton.
There is a second. Ms. Hutton, do you accept?
Senator Hutton, freshman caucus. I'm afraid my name's not Abigail, and I respectfully decline.
I believe that is not her name. Anyway, are there any other nominations for speaker before I close? Seeing none, the nominations are now closed. Senator Mitchell, if you could please exit the room. If you can get the PowerPoint to work. You sent in all of your information? Oh, you have another one?
Here we go, guys.
Please stand where.
What the hell is that?
As a reminder, Senator Hood will receive 10 minutes, and 5 minutes of question and answer, and 5 minutes for a character witness.
All right, well, howdy.
Howdy.
My name is Joseph Hood, for those of you who don't know me. It's wonderful to see so many new faces in the Senate. I'm very excited for this year, and I'm very honored to be standing before you as a candidate for Speaker for the 68th session. I'm a sophomore political science major from Saginaw, Texas, and a loud and proud member of the Pike, Texas Aggie class of 2017. Hey. Woo! Cool out there. So, very quickly, I think it's very important that y'all know who I am and why I'm running. So very quickly, I was an impact counselor this year and the last year, and that's been a real honor for me to be able to serve the body of Christ at Texas A&M and introduce the students of Texas A&M to my organization. I was in MSC a lot as a freshman last year, as a flow in the MSC. I'm the vice chair of the Texas A&M College of Republicans, which is the largest chapter of the College of Republicans in the state of Texas. I'm very proud of that. I will be enrolled in the Bush School next year to pursue a master's degree in public service administration with a focus on education policy. I'm just running through some facts here just so y'all can get a better idea of who I am. And I played Quidditch my freshman year. That's something that I really enjoyed. Probably the greatest athletic experience of my life. Making the World Cup. And I apologize for all the extra time there. I didn't realize it was being shown, so I apologize. Very quickly, my SG experience, y'all have a packet in front of you. There's a lot more detail on that, but I served in the 66th session in the legislative relations team that is not within Senate, that is within SGA. And my position there was to do research on Student Government Association and do research on bills that were pertinent to the university. And part of my job is to advocate for them. So, for example, I called the Georgia State Archives to talk to them about they ever mandated a game between Georgia and Georgia Tech, so we can get that game against those two cities. So, in the 67th session, I had the fortune and the honor to serve on 2 committees. I served in legislative affairs, and then I got moved over to finance when they need someone to fill a position. So that's enough about me, though. What I'm really here for, and what I believe the speaker position is here for, is for you, the 12th man, the 68th session of the Student Senate. I believe very, very strongly that Texas A&M University is at a point of change. We have a new president, and Dr. Young. We are growing at a very exponential rate. In the last couple of years, it's exploded. In the last 10 years, our tuition has more than doubled at Texas A&M University. These are things that are changing very rapidly. We have a new Reveille. We have a new Kyle Field, which is just a monument that's sitting out there. This is a beautiful university that's expanding quickly, but with expansion comes risk. And I think it's the job and the duty of the Student Government Association to protect and defend the culture that makes this university unique. And so as speaker, I have a plan to make sure that we are empowered and have the ability to do so. I call them my 3 E's. It's very catchy, I think anyway, and it's something that I really think can really further what we're trying to do. And I'm going to run through these. First E, evaluate. As a student government association, one thing that I've realized serving in the 67th session, coming in as a new center, is sometimes we don't know where our footing is. I remember when serving on the finance committee, we had these committees coming to us, and presenting their budgets, presenting what they're trying to do. And we didn't have knowledge of that. That's something that we should have knowledge of constantly. That's something that's supposed to be important. As speaker, I would make sure that things such as the CPR Act, which is in our code, which is something we're supposed to do every year, is carried out. That's something that's run by the speaker pro tem, but it's my job to hold the officers and the senators of this body responsible for what they've signed to do. That's to serve this university. As you can see, evaluating is very important for many reasons. One of those is the fact that if we don't know where we stand, body, how do we know how we're going to move forward? If we don't know what we're doing within ourselves, how are we expected to represent students to the best of our ability? When we're talking to administration, when we're talking to students, if we have a weak internal structure, how are we supposed to be externally strong? If we evaluate, that will give us the best position to really stand, look around us, and make decisions based on that understanding. Next point, equip. That man right there, Kevin Sumlin, he does a very good job at equipping his football players to do the best job possible. I'm really looking forward to this year. I think we're going to have a really good team. I hope y'all do too. But I believe that sometimes the body falls short in equipping the centers with skills and abilities that they need. For those of you who are in the development day-to-day, if you all feel prepared to serve the Senate and feel prepared to serve the student body to the best of your ability and you feel like you have the knowledge, that's fantastic. What I found when I joined, and one of the reasons I'm running for speaker, is I felt like I was not prepared for that. Why? So, a couple things that I would do. I would develop a senator manual that would be given to every single senator at the beginning of the fall of 2015. Within this manual, it has all the information, all the questions that you could have as a new senator would be answered in this. I think it's very important that we have that information in there. I will talk more about that later. Development day trainings in the 67th session. Thank you very much. Development day trainings. In the 67th session, currently, right now, is a bill that I wrote with a couple other senators, and in the bill, it advocates for more development days. Once a month, the pro tem, at a minimum, will provide extra development days of training for the students. This would not be mandatory, this would not be required, but hopefully what this would do is it would give you the tools and the abilities that you need to do your job well. I believe as a leader, and I believe as a speaker, it's my job to meet the senators more than halfway. It's my job to reach out to our senators and say, what do you need? What help do you need? It's my job to lay out all the information that I needed in the beginning of my 67th session, lay out all the information they need to be able to use that information then to go out and represent students, because that's what we're here for. Also, I really believe in the fact that having a relational Senate is something that we need to have outside of this body in and of itself. Because the only time we're talking is 3 hours every other Wednesday night, we're doing something wrong, senators. What we need to be doing is we need to be having communication. We need to be having these discussions outside. How do you do that? You form a relational body. I think that one of my greatest strengths as a leader is creating relationships with individuals. Sitting down, talking, understanding where they're coming from. These are things that we need within the body. I pledge as speaker of the 6-day session to sit down and talk to each and every one of you to understand why you're here, understand what's driving you, understand why you care so much that you would sit here on a Wednesday night and you could be studying. You sit here on a Wednesday night and you could be doing something else. Instead, you're dressed up, you're here, and you're fighting for students. And I want to know. And last but not least, we need to engage the student body. I believe that one thing the Senate can do a much better job is talking and communicating with the Senate, with the people we are supposed to be representing. There's a few ways that we can do this. Caucus system. We have a caucus system within the Student Government Association. It's something that's in our code. It's something that we can do. As speaker, I would hold our caucus leaders responsible for creating an environment where the caucus can get together, they can have conversation about reaching out to their constituents, reaching out to those people that they're supposed to be representing. If you're the caucus leader for engineering, I would expect you as speaker to go and talk to the engineering council. On a regular basis, have that communication line open. Communication and engaging student bodies about creating extra lines of communication is cool. Also, I think it's very important that we have a liaison system. As speaker has the power to appoint liaisons that are not enlisted in the student body. I would appoint liaisons to all areas of campus so that we can create extra lines of communication that, unfortunately, we're 80 people. This is a student body at 50,000. We're going to need some tough guys. Also, town hall. Something that, this is an idea that I had that I think was
further facilitate communication with the students is having a town hall a couple times a semester in which the speaker and other senators, we would get together, let's say in the MSC, Thursday night, 8 o'clock, and we would open it up to all students. We invite students, we invite student leaders. First 15 minutes is us talking about what we're doing, talking about how we're fighting for students. The rest of the time, the rest of that time period would be them giving us questions, comments, concerns, us alleviating needs that they have as students. That's something that we need to be doing, is meeting them again. My philosophy in leadership is meeting people more than halfway, reaching out to them, giving the tools and information that they need. I think that's very important. Also, our website, making sure that that's running. I don't know how many of y'all check that. I think that that's something that's very important. And one thing that I would encourage for each and every one of you, and I hope that I set an example in this, is encouraging each and every one of you to hold your own individual office out. It's something I want to require again, but I think that it's a way, let's say, for example, Senator Turpin were to go out and set up a office hour in the MSC, and we tweet out from the MSC page, from the SGA Twitter page, tweet out from our social media. Senator Turpin is going to be in the MSC for the next hour, and she'll be there to answer any questions. And if any of y'all are nervous about that, or any of y'all in the company, I pledge to join y'all on that. In conclusion, Senator, these are the duties of your Speaker of the Senate. There's 8 of them. If you read them, most of them have to do with communicating with administration. Most of them have to do with communicating with exec. There's simple things like setting up your agenda. But what I believe is the role of Speaker is to lead the student body. Or not the student body, pardon me, to lead the Senate, to lead the 68 session. In order to do that, in order to have the strongest 68 session possible, I think we need to equip the senators that we have in this body, give you all the tools and the abilities to use to do well, evaluate where we stand, equip, evaluate, and engage the student body. I think these are all things that are extremely important and things that we need to focus on. And I believe that my leadership skills and my abilities to create relationships will be able to do that. I think that Senate, we're here to represent, but we're also here to lead, and I want to help y'all do that. Thanks again.
I will now open the period question and answer, and I'll start with Senator Peel. That's correct. So,
Senator Peel off campus. So, Senator, you mentioned a manual for every student that they would use to provide like information needed to get their job done. What would exactly be in that?
Okay, that's a great question. So a large portion of the reason why I ran for Speaker again is because of my experience in the 67th session. I entered much like many of y'all did, and my first meeting was the elections. And I stepped in, and there's motions flying forth, there's emotions and motions flying forth, there's debate, there's things that are extremely frustrating and discouraging for someone who's just walking in there. One of the problems that we have within Senate is that many people end up, for better or for worse, they end up dropping out because they ask us out. And I think that one of the reasons for that is because you sit in a seat and you don't know what you're doing and you're not providing information, you feel like you're not making a difference in any organization, period. Are you going to stay in that? And I believe that each and every one of you has something that you can deliver to this body. So what I would have in this manual is, for example, a cross-reference for administrators. So you know what administrator to go to for what issues you're having. If you're having an issue with maintenance, you go and talk to there'd be a list of administrators you talk to. If you have an issue with transportation, you would say Peter Lang, the director of transportation, great contact to talk to. You have information on how to write a bill, how to write an act, how to write a resolution. These are very simple things that we can put into a manual that you would know what you're doing. You would have this information armed. A simpler breakdown of Robert's Rules of Order, a simpler breakdown of our 240-page SGA code, what you really need to know. These are things that can strengthen you as a senator and give you the tools and the abilities that you need to move forward. There's just a whole host of other things, for example, like, for example, a list of everyone's contact information in the Senate so you can reach out to them. And this is something that I would compile over the summer. Again, I would work with the officer team. I would work with our SGA advisor, Mr. Johnson, wonderful man. I suggest you all go and meet him. And I really believe that this would start the process in which you could start. It would arm you with what you need to know to do your job.
With 3 minutes remaining,
Senator Sweet, TAP Caucus. Give us a challenge that you faced in all your leadership experience and how you, through that challenge, overcame it through your leadership abilities.
Thank you. I really appreciate that question. So, challenge that I faced in leadership. My So this year I served as vice chair of Texas A&M College Republic. It's something that I'm still currently serving within. What happened is when I entered, we had Congressman Bill Flores. I was not a leader at that time. I was just a member. We had Congressman Bill Flores, a U.S. Congressman, come to one of our meetings. We had 15 people there. 15 people to see the U.S. Congressman. I was elected as activities director over the summer. I ended up as vice chair because politics happened, I guess you could say. Our chair dropped, and then they had our vice chair moved up. What happened is, from that position of vice chair, I realized that we're not engaging the members within our organization better. If y'all haven't noticed, that's something I'm really passionate about, is getting people involved, because it's the best way to keep people within the organization. And so what I did is I created a series of committees within the organization that allowed people to make decisions on the direction that our organization was going. And by empowering the individuals and by allowing them to come, we have about 40 people coming each and every one of our meetings. Our membership has increased by about 500%, which is amazing. It's something I've really enjoyed seeing. And so that's an example, I guess, of a leadership obstacle that I've had. Thank you.
Next, Senator, you just remind the body, the people, if you ask a question, please stay and
Senator Lee, veterinarian news. So do you feel like you not having the experience as in a chair position in Senate could hinder you possibly from understanding the ins and outs of being in a big position like Senate Speaker?
Absolutely, thank you for that question. On a surface level, I would say yes. I'm not gonna lie. There are some things that I don't know about that probably goes on behind the scenes. But that's also something that I see as an issue within this body, is that our officers need to communicate. Everyone needs to know what is going on. The reason that I'm running isn't because I necessarily think I have the most experience. I know I don't. It's because during my time serving the 67th session as a senator, I realized that this body can serve our senators that are within it better. We can serve our superior body better by engaging with them, and we can be evaluating where we stand and really kind of understanding that. Those are three issues that I saw from the outside looking in that I think some people don't get the opportunity to see from that perspective. But I also believe that I can do the job. I have experience leading other organizations, such as College Republic. I have leading experience in other organizations on campus and throw back to high school, if you will. So no, I don't think that overall it would impede me. I'm going to have other senators by my side. I'm going to have other people working with me. So no, absolutely. I don't think in the long run it'll harm me at all. Thank you.
Senator, is it Bonin?
Bonin.
Bonin.
Senator Bonin, off-campus caucus. Hey, you seem to be an effective communicator, but I'd like to know real quick before I ask my question. Part of being an effective communicator is having the right information. I've read your bio. You don't seem to have any experience as a rules and regulations chair. How do you plan to effectively act out the role of speaker without having experience in that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. So the role of speaker is compiled of several different things, one of which is running the meeting. Yes, there are 3 hours in which the speaker runs the meeting. You need to have a good understanding of the rules and regulations. I have Robert's Rules and Order. I've read Robert's Rules and Order. I've read the SGA code multiple times. I have the knowledge needed to run this body. I can do that concept.
Yes. You have
Senator Dean, off campus, I move to extend question and answering by 5 minutes.
motion has been made to extend Q&A by 5 minutes. There are multiple seconds. All in favor of extending Q&A by 5 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. So I will have 5 minutes. So, are you still answering?
I think I could.
Okay, cool. So next we'll move to Senator Dean.
Senator Dean, off campus, a lot of your platform has to do with development and outreach, which is specifically outlined for CA and Pro Temp. Why do you feel like that is something that you can fulfill as speaker?
The role of speaker, it's actually outlined in the duties, as you can see. One of my roles is assist all our Senate officers. If you've seen the role of Speaker Pro Temp, shout out to Brandon Cleveland, that is not an easy job. The role of Speaker Pro Temp has more assignments than the role of Speaker, has more things that they're supposed to be doing. I think that, again, the Speaker position is a leadership position. So from my position, I can set an example for everyone else by encouraging our members to do things, by making sure I'm holding officers responsible for outreach. These are things and ideas that I'm bringing to the table as a leader, as a leadership position. Do I expect to be able to do all these? Absolutely not. That's why I have you guys. Y'all are the body. Y'all are the ones who make things run. All I can do is try to aid you in. So do I believe that those things are specifically assigned to the speaker? Absolutely not. But what I do think is we need to start a conversation within the body, and we need to start it from a leadership position where we can change the body for the
With 4 minutes remaining,
Senator Giles, off-campus caucus. I'm aware that the Speaker of the Senate is the, I guess, head person of the representative of the student body to the Board of Regents. What experience do you have with the Board of Regents?
So I've had basically, I guess you'd say, one meeting where I attended at the Board of Regents, and I decided at the time that I would allow other people to speak. We had several other people speaking, and I actually live tweeted the entire Board of Regents meeting where they decided to raise our tuition to that. But I live tweeted that and used that my role to inform the student bodies of what was going on as senator, where I stood. I thought that would be better for the leadership to do, to me. Speaker Weir did a fantastic job with that, really staying first and stood what we're trying to do. The other experience that I've had is something that sometimes politically controversial. I actually was the individual who started a petition to make sure the academic building is not named after anyone on campus. And you can disagree with me on that, but I really believe that that is a building that is safe. And that is a building that, for better or for worse, I don't think it should be named for anyone. I don't want to hear that building even named after my own mother, and I love her to death. Okay. And I would argue that if anyone, that petition that I started, I've actually had the greatest impact on the decision that the Board of Regents has ever made. Thank you.
Senator Sonk.
Senator Sonk in engineering. Having never had any Senate officer position, how do you expect to effectively hold us responsible and assist us in our roles?
Great, thank you. I really appreciate that. What I believe is that the key to anything, and especially leadership position, again, I'm harping on this, guys, but it's got to be communication. I would form and create really close relationships with everyone within the officer position. I know several people are going to be running for officer positions. I have good, strong relationships with those people already. But I also understand that I can't just be buddy-buddy. That's not the only thing I can do. But I know what their jobs and conditions are outlined within the code. It's right there, black and white. And so if I know that, for example, the finance chair isn't receiving the finance committee reports, is not submitting those to the student body, it's my role to say what's going on. We need to sit down and talk about this. I don't think that it should be something that's handled inside this chamber. I think that is something that should be handled by face-to-face communication and by working with them. So does that answer your question? Thank you.
Senator Evans.
Senator Evans, off campus, we've addressed a lot of internal issues, but how do you propose to raise awareness among the general student body of what we do as SGA and what we do as a student senate? Is that something you have?
Okay, absolutely. I believe that communication with the student body is very key. That's why one of my 3 points is engaging the student body, making sure that they're aware of what it is that we're doing. Obviously, we have tabling, but I don't know how many people have even come, especially the newer series, have actually used the tables we have out. That's why I'm advocating for these town halls. That's why I'm advocating for office hours for individual centers where y'all can sit down and really have that face-to-face conversation with constituents. It's reaching out more than that. Like, social media is extremely important. How many of y'all have heard of the Meerkat app? You can just like nod your head. Okay, Meerkat is this really cool new thing where you can actually live stream over Twitter. Anyone who has that app can also live stream. One thing that I'm implementing, and with conjunction, obviously, with the constituency affairs charities supposed to run our social media, is I would advocate and make sure that we would tweet out a link from the Meerkat. And that way, when students are on their Twitter, they can see, oh, hey, like student search going on. It has a list of what we're doing for that meeting, and they can click on that and just get a live stream. Even if it's 5 minutes. Basically making ourselves as visible as possible. I also know several people within various media outlets when I worked on a bill that was actually, I guess, the digital aid imperative bill. When I worked on that bill, I worked closely with media to try and make sure that that news and that information got out. Because the greatest thing that can happen on administration is when you create external pressure that doesn't just come from us. So there's a difference in the change that we need to make. That's what we do. Also, a brand new idea that I've had. Whataburger, it turns out, doesn't want to come to campus. That's the issue. We've reached out to Whataburger, and they've told us they don't want to come. So why don't we pass a resolution declaring a national Texas A&M Whataburger Day, have everyone dress up in not a burnt orange color, but a very bright festival orange, and have them come and really start flooding Waterbury's letters. Flooding water. That's what we need to do. We need to be leading. Basically.
And that will end the very question. So, you have your.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Stand here, and then you'll have Howdy.
Howdy.
I met Joseph Clay the night before I began my freshman year of college at Texas A&M, and I walked into what would be my family room for the next year, and was greeted by a very big smile. And after less than 5 minutes of talking, Joseph told me that he had decided that we were going to be very good friends. I smiled and nodded, and I was like, okay, sure, like, you know, obviously. But little did I know Joseph was very right. Over the past 18 months, I've gotten to know Joseph very well. He's become one of my closest friends, and I've gotten to grow through my freshman year and the majority of my sophomore year at this point with him. And whether that be through academics and personal life, we actually were neighbors in the dorm, and through our faith, through leadership positions, I've really got to see Joseph grow and change, and he's really supported me as I've grown and changed through my experience at Texas A&M. So one of my experiences with Joseph for 3 semesters actually was Cornerstone Honors Program. And through that, I've gotten to actually experience a lot of debates in which Joseph participated, as did I. Through those, I've learned a few things. Joseph is a man of character. I know I'm supposed to say that, I'm a character witness. But it's true. He knows what both his morals and ethics are, and he stands by them. And he has a unique balance of integrity and loyalty that lends itself to leadership. It's a balance that I envy, because I honestly don't believe that I have that. He has a commitment that can be extremely annoying, but he never gives up. He gives up on anything or anyone that he believes in. Joseph is a man of faith. And there are 2 important words in that last sentence that I want you to pick up on. Faith, because he's honest about his beliefs, and he is a walking Christian. He's strong in that, and he is open to growth, always. And also man, because that's what I've seen him become in my eyes. So the past 18 months, I've gained respect for Joseph that I never expected to have. And I've come to believe in him more than once a year. Joseph displays excellence in all that he does, whether that is his commitment to his academics, his leadership, his faith, and his service, his constituents, his school, or his friends and family. Joseph not only sees excellence, he works for it. That's why I know he will work for you. His selfless service to me and many others has proven itself time and time again. If you know him, you know Joseph is an all or nothing person. I take that back, he's an all person. And this is a chance that you have to let Joseph give all to you. I believe that he's done that in his experience and his role as senator. And I believe that he can only grow his ability should he be elected speaker of the Senate. His heart is already behind it. It's always been behind it. His hands are already in it. He's already working. That's been proven to you through legislation that he has led, legislation that he has assisted on. And he isn't only already speaking, he's screaming for this university and its student body. Yes, sometimes his voice cracks, but the words he's saying are still true. And he only seeks to speak that truth and to work for that truth for the student body. I believe Joseph's commitment to the student body is a very unique one that I really haven't experienced from anyone else. And I'm surrounded by honors liberal arts students every day. So I see all of the gung-ho political people who are not here.
Joseph's voice speaks that truth and speaks it clearly, and I think present it clearly for you. I think that he will work hard for you, and I think that he will lead well and learn well through that experience because he is a man of service, and he's proven that service to you.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Great, everybody will have hand raisers to get minutes.
Well, howdy. Howdy. My name is Aaron Mitchell. I'm an economics major from right here in College Station, Texas. More importantly, I'm a loud and proud member of the Fighting Texas Ag Class of 2016. Hey. Woo! I want to start off by congratulating all of you on your it is an incredible privilege to be sitting in this room. We all have a duty to uphold, and that is to serve and to represent the student body of Texas A&M. Before I started, I wanted to go ahead and read the mission statement of Texas A&M University Student Senate. And it says, the Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities through research, legislation, and advocacy in accordance with the core values of our institution. That's right. This is our purpose. This is why we exist. We exist to make changes for the student body. And we have a choice here. We can embrace this and we can make changes. We can get results for students, or we cannot. And we cannot embrace that. And I would challenge you all to take this role seriously and to work tirelessly. Before I begin talking about my platform, what I've done in the past, and kind of my vision for this, I want to talk a little bit about myself. So like I said, economics major from College Station, Texas. I'm a member of Vader Roots on High as Bucks here on campus. My freshman year, I was a member of the Cornerstone Honor Society. I'm currently an intern at Northwestern Mutual, and I'm a third generation Aggie. And I got to talk on that for just a minute. My grandfather, class of 1946, was somebody that was integral in raising me and kind of teaching me the Aggie spirit. And I kind of have to brag on him. I can't really give an Aggie presentation without talking about it. This is my grandfather right here. Picture, and he's an incredible man. You know, he kind of came into A&M as a freshman in 1942, was drafted, went over to the Philippines, and he's really the reason I'm here today, because somebody like that, who is a great Aggie, instilled in me the Aggie spirit, and that's the reason why I'm here, because I value the core values of selfless service and excellence. Moving on from there, I want to talk a little bit about the job of the speaker. There are a lot of new senators in the room, and I know that not everyone knows exactly what the speaker does. So the speaker obviously presides over the Senate meetings, but that's only about 20% of the job. The speaker will be doing a lot of other things. The speaker is the primary representative to the student body, to the administration, and to the media, which is a large part of the job. And additionally, the speaker leads the officer team and their relations to the executive cabinet through governance council, internal affairs, and leading leading sorry, I lost my place here. And leading the chairs for everything. Yeah, that's actually on the wrong slide the whole time. Nuts, right? So also I want to talk a little bit about what I've done since I was in Senate. So I came into Senate in the 65th session as a freshman, and that's really when I got involved in Senate. Yeah, freshman Senate, that's right. So came in, and Senate did a lot of great things that year. They did the Go Google bill, which is the reason that we have Gmail. Gmail connections to our email accounts. They did the MSC hour extension bill, which is the reason that the MSC is open 24 hours during finals. And one of the last things we did was myself and several other senators went to the Board of Regents when there's a proposed fee, and we beat the administration, and they did not increase fees that year. And to this day, fees are $30 lower per semester because of that data. And that's something I'm really proud to be a part of. Additionally, this last session, I was the Rules and Regulation Chair in the 67th Senate. I did a lot of work with the SGA code, a lot of constitutional bylaw statute amendments. I went to Governance Council law and interacted with the executive branch, had great relations with them this year for the first time in a really long time, as well as making complex rulings on how Senate should go about its rules and regulations during the Internal Affairs Committee, and also represented Senate to Board of Regents this past fall. Although we lost 5-4 and they did increase fees, we sent a very clear message to the administration, and that is that we deserve a seat at the table, because that was our message to the Board of Regents. Our message to the Board of Regents was that we deserve a seat at the table, and we need to be included on these discussions about finance and about fees, because we've been left in the dark. And we almost won at the Board of Regents because they left us in the dark. Additionally, one of the things I'm proud of is the Silver Taps reminder bill. I've been working this past semester to get the Silver Taps profile picture you see on Facebook and profile pictures to be put on Howdy, so that whenever you for the day of Silver Taps, so that people can go and look at that. That's something really proud of. So I want to go ahead and, for this 30 seconds, catapult straight into my vision. So my vision for this Senate is that we will improve our perception and legitimacy, because we are a lobbying branch for students. And we need perception and legitimacy to get results for the student body. And I've broken that down into 3 areas: how we view ourselves, how the students view us, and how the administration views us. So I'm going to start with how we view ourselves. We are the official voice of the student body. We have an incredibly high voter turnout. We are a legitimate body. And we need to view ourselves as such. There's time and place for everything in Senate, but at the end of the day, we need to treat this position that we're all holding with dignity and decorum. Additionally, one of the things that we need to do in order to hold ourselves and have confidence in ourselves is be developed. So I've tried to meet a lot of you. I've met with a lot of you. I think I've Facebook messaged everyone saying, let me meet with you. And first off, to help me get an understanding of what you want to do this year in Senate. What can I do to help you? What questions can I answer? And I think that's really important for the speaker to have an open door policy to invite anyone to at any time. Additionally, I think a lot of development will happen in the committee. So committee chairs ought to sit down at the end of the committee meetings and simply say, how can we improve you guys? How can we do our job better? If you have an idea, okay, great. Let's go talk to this administrator about it. Let's write this bill about it. Let me help you. And that's something that I've done with the Rules and Regulations meeting. We have a lot of great leaders that have come out of it this past year. Additionally, I don't think development day is work. A lot of y'all had development day right before this. It's kind of trying to drink out of a fire hydrant. You get a lot of rules thrown at you, and I don't think that works. So I'd like to see maybe 1 or 2 more, but maybe something like a debate workshop. Bring in somebody, give a talk on leadership, something like that. But I think rules can be communicated in that small group. The next one is how students view us. It's extremely important that our constituents know what we're doing and they can access that information. One of the things that I'm trying to push through is a total revamp of our our website. It's not visually appealing. There's no information on there. You should be able to go find out what bills we're considering, what bills are in committee, when the committee meetings are, voting records, attendance records. That's something I want to do because we're in the 21st century, and people, whenever they want to know what we're doing, they look us up online. And how can we be perceived as legitimate if we can't run our website? So the next thing is the state of cul-de-sac, which was proposed. Okay.
You are.
Okay, state of cul-de-sac. So that's something that's extremely important, proposed last session. Additionally, I would like to see a campus-wide email where we send out, not like the SVP email, really wordy, but simply just, sorry. I'm trying to hurry here, but to have nice, quick points. Student Senate, these are the bills we're considering. These are the committee times. These are the committee meetings. You know, go, please come give us input. Additionally, one of the biggest things, how the administration uses, because they're the ones that make changes. We have a new administration coming in, and that is a huge thing. It's a huge opportunity to sit down with them. And,
Zach Carlson, Mays Business School. I motion to extend the presentation time by 2 minutes.
There are multiple seconds. All in favor of extending the period of presentation by
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
yes. Okay. So there were multiple seconds. All in favor of extending the period of presentation by 2 minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Please say nay.
Nay.
So you're at 9:23.
awesome. Okay. Thank you for that, Senator Carlson. So, like I was saying, there's a lot. There's a lot of good we can be doing. There's a lot of rapport we can be building with the administration right now. I got to meet as a Senate officer, President Young a couple times, and I just sat down with him and I didn't sit down, I was standing up, talked to him, and I said, we haven't been given a seat at the table very much recently. We have a lot of suggestions, we do a lot of great work, but we're not getting results out of it. And how can we fix that? And he said, you know, I want to work with students. He said, you guys have your finger on the pulse of the student body, which I think we do. There are more people in this room that know somebody that's concerned with an issue than in any other branch of government. We have an incredible span from all corners of campus. And I think that is what we need to be looking at moving forward. Building that rapport with the administration and getting the results we need for students. Additionally, I think it's important to have a good relationship with the battalion, because whenever you go into a meeting with the administration, if you bring a battalion article with you, that carries a lot more weight for getting things done. And that's what we're trying to do here, is get things done for students by improving our perception. Additionally, I think the exec-senate relationship is extremely important. I believe that working with the executive branch will take us a long way. And that's it, y'all. Perception and legitimacy will bring results for us. And that's my vision for Senate. And I believe that through my experience and insights as a chair this past year, I have the ability to help us become the body that we were elected to be and get the results that students deserve. And thanks again.
We'll have 5 minutes for questioning for start with recognition from
Senator Rose for
Please
Cadet
stand
Talks now. So I'm an author of the Development Day bill that the other candidate mentioned, and some of the other senators in the room authored as well. How do you plan to change that, or what change would you like to see to make those development days more effective?
Absolutely. So, like I said earlier, I think it's extremely important to have maybe 2 or 3 development days per semester. Not a whole lot, but have 2 or 3, and have one kind of with the, about the rules. Have another one talking about debate, parliamentary procedure, things like that, how we're going to actually communicate with each other and exchange ideas in this setting. And the third thing is bring in a speaker to talk about leadership. It can be anybody. It can be a professor. There are tons of incredible speakers on this campus that would be more than willing to come in and help out the students. So that's my vision for development days. But additionally, I think it's extremely important for our committee chairs to be developing our senators in that small group of people, exchanging ideas, and not only educating them, but motivating them to get out of their seats.
Thank you.
Senator Son.
Senator Sonk in engineering. Senator Mitchell, you talked about the state of cul-de-sac, just for the benefit for these senators. Could you explain what that is and what it does?
Absolutely. I was kind of running out of time at that point, something along, but the state of cul-de-sac was proposed by Senator Murphy and a few other senators in this past session. It is essentially a short video made each month with the Speaker of the Senate and the student body president talking about what we are doing for the students at Texas A&M through our various capacities and various ways we serve. So that I think is an incredible initiative. I'd love to see it shared on Facebook, things like that. Have it on YouTube, have it on our website, just to get out and communicate to the student body what we're doing.
Senator Lander.
Senator Lander, Core Caucus. You say you're big. You want to have a more positive perception and gain legitimacy. Where would you say we began getting negative perception and losing?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And I believe that happened when we wrote SB 6570 and passed it turned us around. We did a U-turn. We stopped it. And not only did it make our perception look bad, but additionally, we stopped caring about how we look. We stopped updating the website. That hasn't been updated since 6.7. You can trace everything back to then, and that's when we did a complete 180 and you fix it.
Point of information. I'm speaking. Alex Rose, for this caucus. Could the speaker candidate explain what Senate Bill 6570 is for the benefit of the body?
I'll explain what it is. So 6570 was a bill passed originally. Okay, so it passed. So in 6570, the religious funding exemption bill. That was the second. Okay. That was brought before the body and was originally passed by the body. And I'll explain what it is. It was vetoed by the student body president, and I believe by almost unanimous vote, we did not vote to overturn the veto. So what the bill, in essence, did was make clear a process that in the mind of the bill author existed for students to opt out is the buzzword. Opt out of fees that they believed were against their religious beliefs. The bill highlighted how that process worked, what students could go about to do to make it happen. And that's basically what happened. It's now buried outside under a brick. I realize that's I will move on to talk about so Springer, you've got Springer.
Senator Springer, Aaron, you did a great job in honors here last year. Tell me, how did that experience, and how does that prepare you for being?
Sure. So, one of the things I think I've learned as RR chair is first off how to be a chair, how to interact with the executive branch of my counterparts, as well as specifically with rules and regulations chair, making very precise and complicated decisions on the rules. And that's taught me a lot about the rule process. We've rewritten a lot of bylaws and constitutions. So I had the inner workings of SGA grasped very well because that position. But I think the most important thing for speaker is that I was able to develop my committee and really make some great leaders out of that committee. And I want to encourage other chairs to do that with their committees because then we can have student leaders working with students. Excellent.
Senator Day.
Senator Day, public science. I'm hearing a lot of hesitation about how you're focusing on how the exec looks at us, how the students feel us, how they know about what we're doing. Do you have any other plans to receive, any other plans to find ways to receive input from the student body so we can effectively put forward what they want us to change?
Absolutely. I do not, but that's intentional. Because the job of receiving feedback from the student body is that of the constituency affairs. And I'm not interested in micromanaging the chairs or even proposing policy as speaker. It's simply the job of speaker to make sure that we are making our policy in a fair way, and then representing the body to media, administration, and students.
Senator Dunn.
Senator Q-Black, eligible remarks. Senator Mitchell, it was mentioned earlier this evening that it is refreshing to see a full room. As speaker, how would you work to counter any potential drift towards Senator Appleton?
And it all goes back to that development. When people are motivated and they know what's going on, we will have retention. I've seen Seth Stewart have good retention, bad retention, and a lot of it is how motivated people are to be there. And so, that's what it is, developing people. If they know what they're doing, because the more you learn about Senate, the more you will get, the more you will love it. At least that's what I do. Because we do incredible in this room, and it would be crazy for anybody not to want to be part of it.
With 1 minute remaining in question and answer, Senator Thomas.
Senator Hutton, off-campus caucus. So, Senator Mitchell, it's weird to call you that, or permission preference, Madam Speaker. Article 9, Section 6 of the Senate bylaws talks about how the Rules and Regs chair is currently in charge of the development days. Aside from the bill that was proposed by some of the other senators, can you talk to us about how you were working on the development days that we've had over this past session as the Rules and Regulations chair?
So the Rules and Regs chair assists in the development days. Pro tem runs the development.
So Senator.
I wasn't done.
You want to keep answering?
Yes. And so my job as rule chair is not to develop people, but to teach them the rules. And so that's what we've done with development day is I've had sessions talking about parliamentary procedure and the rules. And I don't think it's effective. I think the chair should be talking about that.
Thank you.
Senator Miller.
Senator Miller off campus. As you kind of talked about earlier, you don't want to step on the toes of your own chairs who are doing their own jobs. So how do you plan to empower them in your role as speaker?
Absolutely. So I think one of the things that sets me apart is I've been a chair, and I know what it's like. I know what it's like to do that job, and to guide those people is simply to sit down and ask them, what vision do you have for your committee? Help them, set goals for their committee, and then, follow up from there and just ask them how they're progressing along. Really encourage them. It's all about encouragement and getting them to do work with student body. Thank you.
Okay, do you have a motion? Yes, please.
Senator Ammons, off campus, I move to extend time of questions by 5 minutes.
A motion is made to extend Q&A by 5. Are there seconds? All in favor of extending Q&A by 5 minutes, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Motion opposed or own division. All in favor, please stand. Please be seated. All opposed? requires 2/3. Depending on what requires 2/3. Can I get a head nod? 2/3, do you extend time?
Yes.
Okay. So that goes. I like.
Wait to introduce my
So character witness, 5 minutes. In the future for you new people, if you're limiting somebody's time to talk or making it bigger, it's 2/3 of the body rather than
Well, howdy.
Howdy.
My name is Thomas McNutt. I'm a former political science major from Dallas, Texas, and the loudest and proudest member of everybody now, fighting Texas Ag class of 13. Woo! Okay, sorry. Anyway, my name's Thomas. I never thought I'd see the inside of this room again. I was a senator in the 63rd, 64th, and 65th sessions. I also took a swing and a miss at the student body president office. I was campus's biggest loser. It was me and Mike Sherman. We were the campus's two biggest losers. Courtesy laugh would be appreciated. Thanks, guys. Real quick, just in regard to the speaker election, also feel free to motion to extend my time as well. Pretty nice, you know, if I run out. But I've never seen that done before in the presentation. That was great. When it comes to a speaker election, there are two things that I would give my unsolicited advice that you consider when selecting who to vote for. Okay, and that is experience and initiative. Okay, experience and initiative. Right? I think the common mistakes that people oftentimes make are we need somebody who's going to run the body well, who's going to run the room. That's what's important. The other mistake they make is they say, I want somebody who agrees with me. You know, I've been in sessions with this person. We feel the same way about issues. Neither are very relevant, to be quite honest with you. If you really want to know the brass tacks of what a speaker does. Okay, and Hannah Wager, who's been on my forever, she'll tell you the same thing. The real work is not going on inside of this room. Okay, this is about 20%. Yes, you do need to know parliamentarianism and things of that nature. Fine. Okay, all right, but where it really counts is, here's the deal. Like, the seat that you hold right now, it's important. It's very important. Like, this is the heartbeat of the student body. It is. Think about how many people know an individual in this room versus how many people know our student body president personally. Okay, way more people are connected to this room. Okay, this is the true heartbeat of the student body. But here's the deal. It's not viewed on campus as the heartbeat of the student body. That's a problem. And you need a speaker who is going to carry what y'all vote on, and hold the executive branch, the administration, everybody accountable to make sure that it gets done. Okay, it's not Aaron's job, it's not the speaker's job to decide what we vote on in here. That's your job. Take your job seriously. But once it's decided, you need somebody who you know has some backbone and is going to bear that torch. Because here's the deal. There's so many times that legislation will get passed. And you go to these meetings with the student body president, with the president of the university, the head of transportation, whoever. You sit in there, okay, and if you don't have a speaker with some backbone who's going to champion what we've passed in here, then it can get waved over really quickly. Okay, you need somebody who's going to grab the student body president, who's going to grab the president of the university and put them into a meeting saying, guys, this is what the students want. That's what you need, somebody who's going to do that. I've known Aaron Mitchell for a very long time. I was his high school football coach. That's right, that's right. You're allowed to applaud that. You can ring tap that. So when I was a student at Texas A&M, I had one of the coolest jobs in college you've ever heard. I was on football scholarship my freshman year, and I ended up getting hurt, concussioned out, if you can't tell. Anyway, and then my last 3 years, I was a football coach at Brazos Christian High School. Dustin Renfro right here, sitting in the room, is also one of my football players. Anyway, so I coached Aaron and Dustin for several years. Okay, and I like to tell you about Aaron as an individual. Okay, if you ever played sports, you know that you get very, very close to your coach. You know each other very, very well. You know each other like the back of your own hand. That's news. Anyway, and so Aaron, if you got like the tortoise and the hare, he was never the hare. Okay, he's not shiny. He's not cocky. He's not dramatic. Okay, but I tell you what he is. He's consistent and he's honest. Okay, he played an offensive line. He used to be a lot bigger kid than he is now. Okay, we have the number one rushing offense in the state, and it wasn't because we had some 5-star running backs. Okay, it's because we had a selfless, honest, hardworking, blue-collar guy in Aaron Mitchell who we could trust. And he had some backbone. Right was right and wrong was wrong.
And if he's the guy representing you at the table, in with the student body president and the head of transportation and the head of food services or whoever else, he will not waver. He does not need any recommendation letters from these people who he is lobbying to. Okay? He is a tremendous student, has a tremendous future in front of him with or without the speaker election. Okay? He is somebody who has nothing to lose and everything to gain. I encourage you, if you put anyone in charge of your voice to take that torch forward, put it in charge, put it in the place of the guy who you can count on and who has the backbone to stand up to for what is right. He's the guy to do it. If you want your voice heard, and you don't have to worry about what you pass getting done, semicolon, then Aaron Mitchell is the way to go. Thank you, and giggle.
All right, so how this is gonna work? All right, so how this is gonna work? First of all, we need to be in order. I can't talk to you if you're not paying attention. How this works? Debate. Debate is unlimited. Normally you would get 15 minutes total. 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 is 15. Whatever. That's not okay. You will come more than that, but you did it. So if you would like to debate for Joseph Hood, and keyword for, if you would like to debate for Joseph Hood, you raise a 1. If you would like to debate for Aaron Mitchell, raise a 2. I did not hold it against this. If you would like to raise for Joseph Hood, 1. For Aaron Mitchell, 2. Keyword for. Okay, so each side will get 2.5 minutes. For new senators, you are allowed to, within that 2.5 period, within that 2.5 recognition, say, I'm debating for Aaron Joseph. So you would be able to pass that around. So if Senator Sosa raises his placard while Senator Santos is talking, he would be able to say, okay, I'll give it over. Once that 2.5 minute period is expired, we'll move to the next side, and so on. You can also yield your time to the floor, meaning that nobody else will pick it up, even though say you have 30 seconds left. It'll go to the opposing side. Does that make sense? So we get to start for everybody to speak. Okay, great. So I will start taking recognitions for debate for Joseph Hood. And I will start with Senator Hutton. You have 2.5 minutes, starting at.
Howdy, Senate. My name is Senator Hutton, off-campus caucus, and I'd like to talk to you today about one of my very dear friends, Senator Joseph Hood. So the reason that I stand before you right now is actually thanks to Senator Hood. I came in as an out-of-state student to Texas A&M from Springdale, Arkansas, and I attended Impact Camp. And Senator Hood was one of my leaders there. He told me about how much he loved Student Senate. And it was really weird because everyone else in the room said that Student Senate was an awful place. But I got to spend a lot of time with Joseph, and he walked me through what Student Senate meant to him and why he ran for it and why he was participating in student government. He encouraged me to run, and in that way, he both engaged with me and he equipped me to be a voice for our freshman class. I think that he has also helped me throughout the year in evaluating my performance. He has called out when he thought I was doing a bad job in the Senate, and I think that that's an invaluable resource as a friend. I think that Joseph would extend these practices that he's had with me as an individual to his position as speaker. I very much respect both candidates for this position, but I would like to nominate Joseph, or I'd like to continue to support Joseph Hood for this position because I believe that he really can do the job and that he is an incredible man for the position. Thank you. I yield my time to the floor.
Okay, I'll start with recognition for Senator Mitchell. Oh, yes. And you'll get to.
Well, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Guys, I'm really excited tonight. These are 2 great candidates, 2 great senators, and 2 fine individuals that we have before us tonight, and 2 guys I really respect. I know it's supposed to be debating for Mitchell, but I've got to say, Hood won the soft battle tonight, so that's what I'm going to say. So I want to kind of go down some of the goals that both of them laid out, and both of these guys are going to do great things next session, but I'm going to draw some contrast between them that'll make it clear that Aaron Mitchell's the guy we need to support tonight. All of Aaron Mitchell's goals are the speaker's responsibilities. He wants to go before the Board of Regents and fight for legislation. He wants to go and ensure that what we pass here gets done. And I mean, you can come in here, you can have development days, you can tweet all you want, you can huff and puff and lose on the floor or win on the floor, but if nothing comes from the bills, we're just wasting our time. And we're wasting the students' time. So that's what we need in Aaron Mitchell as an executive who will execute every single bill that we pass. And just going back to some of the platforms, you know, looking at the stuff, when Aaron Mitchell said, no, I will not do that because it's the constituency affair chair's job, that's when I made up my mind. Because I've been on IA, and Speaker Weir never came to me and said, hey, we need to pass this through AA. Pro Tem Klingman never did that. I had the initiative, and that's what developed me as a leader, and that's what got the will of my constituents done. And so that's why I really like when Aaron Mitchell said that. He's not going to micromanage you guys. He's going to give you room to flourish. Most of his opponents' plans are really great ideas, but they belong under constituency affairs or the Pro Tem. He's not running for one of those because I think it would be a great utilization of the resource we have in Aaron Mitchell's opponent. And with that, I will yield to.
I will take recognition for Senator Pugh. You have 2.5 starting at
All right. Senator Pugh off campus.
How does it?
All right. So, I'm going to talk about my friend, Joseph Hood. I haven't known him very long, but we first met, we have a class together this semester. We had a class together. I dropped it. So, it tells you how much more committed he is than me. But my first impression of him, I was like, he's kind of cocky. He thinks he's going to change the world, and I don't really know if he is. But then after I got to talk to him some more, I realized that he really is. He really is going to change the world. He's really doing great things. He's really down to earth. And the reason I support him is because he supports partisan resolutions and things that we can all agree on, things that the administration will actually listen to, such as the digital impairment aid bill, which we all read about in the Italian days and making progress. So, on to that. And so, and also as vice chair of College Republicans, he was able to reach across the aisle and talk to organizations like Minority Student Affairs, which that's awesome. So I remember one morning right after elections, we both walked in the class pretty early, and we were like the only two in class at the moment. And he congratulated me on getting reelected, and I congratulated her on getting elected. I congratulated him on getting reelected, and he told me he was going to run for speaker. And I thought right then and there was nobody in Senate at the moment who does a better job of representing true Aggie spirit than Joseph Hood. So, but if you vote for him, I believe that you're voting for selfless service over serving yourself. You're voting for bills that we can all agree on, bills that we can all support, bills that aren't partisan, bills that the administration will actually listen to. And so that's why I believe he should be good. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless Texas. So, okay, well, I need to so.
For information, what is the
please stand and state your name and caucus.
Senator Hess and June Caucus. Point of information, what does a visual impairment aid bill consist of?
Okay, so that is a bill that was introduced this session, I believe by Senator Hood and a few others. I don't remember exactly if it was or not, so if you're on it, sorry, I just don't remember. But basically what that did, it was creating, so we, for our visually impaired community, it created through wind tunes, was the idea, sound cues, so that those who are visually impaired would have something to remember and know exactly from that cue where they were on campus be able to differentiate different education with our campus. So that went to the Student Services Committee, and it was passed out. And so now I believe it is in the hands of the executive branch, and they are working currently. I know Colin Kruger is currently working with CPE to see what types of direction we can. And okay, so I will go back to recognition for Senator.
Senator Dean, off campus. Well, howdy, Senate. For those of you who don't know, I'm very good friends with both who are running for speaker. In fact, we all three ran for Senate together. And I really wasn't planning on debating or against anyone as such as but something I really wanted to focus on and something that caught my attention was I want to clarify both men have written powerful legislation from the vision impairment bill to the silver tax bill, and both of them are men of character. However, what I really think separates the two is the experience issue. Aaron has gone and talked in front of the board or even specifically, and he has that founder relationship, which is a little bit different than tweeting a meeting, and they know him by name. He's also already established that he has a founded relationship with President Young. For those of you who don't know, the president has a major power in deciding what gets passed through the Senate, and the fact that we already have a relationship established through Aaron is a major deal for students. On top of that, I've seen both of them in very tough positions with both the board of regents and president through my time doing both of them. And what really does separate them, as I like Kirkland against the backbone that Aaron Mitchell has. I've seen him in positions where some people have stepped down, and Aaron has decided to just keep that strong place there and make sure that he really decided to voice the student opinions, even when it was going to affect his future. And so something I really want to just establish is that Aaron Mitchell is by far the best man for this job because of his experience as rules and regs chair and also his experience with administration specifically, where they know him by name. And with that, I yield my time.
For the yielded, I will go back to recognition for debate for Senator Hood. Is there any recognition for debate for Senator Hood? Senator Hood.
Howdy.
Howdy.
My name is Senator Lander. I work in this caucus. Just like Joseph's character witness says annually, I've known Joseph for about 18 months. And early on, when I first knew him, and one of our earliest interactions after we first got to know each other, we grew as friends pretty fast. We actually ran for the 66th session together. We both ran as freshman senators, as co-candidates, and that was, I really got to learn a lot about him. While I did win, I was freshman senator for the 66th session. He unfortunately was not sitting right there beside me. But what I learned a lot about him from that. I was excited to get through that role, and instead of him getting disappointed and stepping down and not looking back to go back to SGA in some capacity, he did the opposite. He just kept moving forward, and he got involved in SGA. He got involved in many different areas of campus. He quickly grew in those leadership positions. And so I say that because he has to get resiliency, he has to be persistent, he's going to get the job done. But no one has the right leadership for a certain role because every role is different. Yes, it helps to have experience in a committee chair, for example, and I have very much respect for those who serve in those positions because it takes a lot to do. But you're not going to be prepared for the role of speaker until you're speaker, in my opinion. Every role has very unique, very different qualities that come with it. And I believe that he has sufficient leadership experience elsewhere outside of Senate and elsewhere in SGA that won't affect his ability to lead, his ability to come, do what it takes to carry out his duty as a speaker. So if you're wondering if he has a lack of experience or a lack of know-how of the job, I disagree. I think he has great leadership experience, great leadership potential, and has the ability to do great things for Senate campus. With that, I might have to Senator Dewberry.
You'll have 30 seconds. Howdy.
Howdy.
Yep, okay. So my name is Emily Dewberry. I am a junior political science major, and I've been in Senate for quite some time, since the 65th. Wow. Long time. Okay, so I just wanted to say a few things about Senator Hood, and I don't stand up unless I believe in something really strongly. And I haven't known Senator Hood for not long at all, and I believe he has the best chance for the job. You saw the battalions. He made that bill, he made it happen, he had a vision, and he is bold and he is strong. And I believe is the best one for the job. I'll start with recognition for Senator Mitchell.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Andy Habib, College of Vet Med and Biz. I want to start by saying that Senator Hood and Mitchell are both outstanding options, and we have a lot worse. A lot. But I think Senator was saying earlier that he believes experience is not that crucial, and I want to say something specific. Mitchell, being rules and regs chair, is huge for being speaker, because what you're going to see over the next year is that meetings can be super long, and you will want to leave. Okay, we want to get things done for students. We want to do it in a timely manner. And knowing the rules as speaker saves you from so much time wasted saying, "Oh, what's the rule? What's going on?" It just takes a long time. So she's good at the rules. Don't get me wrong. I do, of course. But I'm saying that is something that's very significant to think about. And also having been behind the scenes working with other chairs means that he's actually been there and had to know how to work with people who are in those leadership positions and say, you know what, let's compromise. If you don't want to do this, let's think about doing this instead. He's willing to compromise. So anyway, that's big. And I also want to say another thing. It's not our job as senators to hold hands with the speaker. We want a speaker who knows what he's doing. We want a speaker who's on his own and doesn't need us to, like, oh, you're speaker, yeah. He needs to be able to do what he's doing, know what he's doing, be confident in himself, and that's big. Another big thing, Senator Mitchell is extremely personable, and that's going to be big as far as when he goes to speak to administration, when he goes to speak with the Board of Regents, which he's already done. Getting what we want passed, his ability to communicate is very, very big and will be very positive. So, yeah. And to reiterate, experience, he's personable, he has proven himself time and time again as the rules and regs chair. So with that, I yield the floor.
Point of information.
Yes.
Senator Lander, for the topic, just out of curiosity, the past 4 years or so, how many of the speakers were previously rules and regs chair?
Okay. I was not. Before that was Bristow, who was Student Services. Now I'm thinking about this. You were.
I was.
And then Tanner, Jake, and no. So what? One.
Point of information,
Out of
Senator.
the last 4 speakers, how many have not had any chair?
Order.
Okay, fine. Wait, you need to go one time. Senator Dean, you.
Senator Dean, off campus, how many former speakers had chair positions before they were speaker?
Tanner Wilson was SS, I believe. I was SS. Scott was RR, and then Russo was SS at one point. Yeah. You have a point. You have a motion.
I moved pretty quick.
Motion is made for previous question. There have been seconds. All in favor? Okay. For new people, previous question means for ending debate and moving to a vote. All in favor of moving to previous question, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. All right. Unanimous. Okay, so how voting is going to work. The Chief Justice, myself, and Brandon. No, please stay in order. This is important. Please. Myself, the Chief Justice, and Brandon Clingan are the only ones that are allowed to touch these as far as collecting. We're going to hand you a ballot. On it, it's going to say, please stay in order, the gallery that we need. Race. You're going to put speaker race at the very top line. Next, candidate. Your candidate of choice. Who you would like, either Joseph Hood or Aaron Mitchell. Your name, your signature, and the caucus you are currently serving. Once you are done, throw up a hand, and myself, Brandon, and Britton will come and collect it. This time, please be silent.
This is going to be awkward. Mama Dean's watching.
Yeah, my parents.
Please remain silent till we announce the win. Who has not received a ballot? Your name has to be on it. Is there anybody else with a slip that needs to be pulled out? Need more slips. Has everybody's slip been collected? Raise your hand if I have not gathered your slip or somebody else. Okay. Did everybody turn in? Please stay in order. Still in these. Please stay in order.
She could hear me. It's like, sorry, Mom. Sorry, Brenda. My mom texted me. It's like, I just heard that. Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Everybody would please return to their seats. It is my pain and displeasure to announce that both candidates have been disqualified based on Article 3, subsection B. Just kidding, April Fool. Hey, stay in order. As I announce the vote. Georgia. Everybody, by a vote of 56 to 11 to no abstentions, Aaron Mitchell is the new speaker. Almost speaker Mitchell. Look pretty because it's going on Twitter. Yes.
Hold up your right hand. I state your name.
I, Aaron Mitchell,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of Speaker of the Texas A&M Student Senate
the duties of the office of Speaker of the Texas A&M Student Senate
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
and to promote good relations between the students
and to promote good relations between students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
Congratulations.
Don't say.
All right.
All right, we'll be moving right into a period of nominations for Speaker Pro Tem. Saw Senator Springer first.
Senator Springer, Collins Engineer, I nominate Senator Alberti.
I see multiple seconds. Senator Dean, do you accept this nomination?
I accept.
Very well. Any other nominations for Speaker Pro Tem? Very well. I will close the period of nominations. We will now go into a period of presentation for Senator Dean. You'll have 10 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Senator Hutton, off-campus caucus. Due to the fact that Senator Dean is uncontested, I motion to move to previous question.
So that's actually out of order because we are not in debate right now, so you can't do the previous question. However, we basically have to have a presentation. You can motion to make the presentation 1 minute or shorter, but you cannot motion for your questions. So with that in mind, we'll go into your presentation. Ms. D, about 10 minutes.
What information?
Yes,
Senator Hood off campus. Or actually, I guess one parliamentary inquiry. Is it not true that uncontested races under our election bylaws are only 5 minutes?
That's actually true. Yes, 5 minutes. Technical difficulties here.
Okay.
That was my eyes on
Other, please. Not believe it. She's already got it.
Without objection, we motion a recess for 5 minutes while we're in the projector. Feel free to go in the hallway with that.
I'm gonna object. Never looking at me.
All right, thanks. See you later. Yeah, that's cool.
People.
Yes.
Center Peel off campus. Alright, so I'm back.
Where's he gonna bring one?
Still on camera. He's probably watching. He's like, I can't. I'm gonna get kicked out of office on my first day. Don't come over here. I don't want to see you. Excuse me? You got a problem? You're
During the first meeting. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you talked to Chris lately, but
oh, he's pissed.
He's very pissed.
How do you know?
Because he's been getting angry messages from crying.
You're being recorded.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They all know that you have crying.
Anyways, so yeah, he's angry.
What did he tell you? Don't associate with this kid. He's
No one watches it.
I
I have no idea.
We don't know if my race will be booked today, but if it does, yes, yes, we should do it. All y'all can second. Yeah, I want second. 1 second.
I'll check. Yeah, this one's good. This one's almost all the way charged. It's what? Tanner Ives. Okay, yeah, just unplug it for a little bit and then you switch.
You must have the card? I only want to accept the 6. Oh, you're in for a good ride. I don't really watch Netflix for a year, but I plan on renting it. I'm going to China this summer. So like 15 hours on a plane or so that I need to watch. Yeah, you need to watch. And I could read. Like I always have to read. I end up just sleeping, listening to music, or watching. Yeah, I enjoy reading. I'm probably reading the plane. You got House of Cards in front of you. I enjoy reading House of Cards. Yeah, no brainer right there. Wasn't it based on a novel? Yes, it was. So maybe I can go back and forth. There you go. I might read that one this summer now. I actually did a lot of reading with this, so it's not like I'm reading college. But yeah, hi, Mom. I have a question, but I'll ask you after. Just remind me that I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Nothing tonight. I have neither experience nor the context to do anything good right now. Next year, there'll be another story. This year, I'll just give a represent my constituents. I did not realize this, but university studies is one of the top 10 most populated universities here on campus. I did not know that. I'm like, great. That just means more people are counting on you to do their job. That's like resume. Now that you do it, resume. So you read what? Transitional academic programs, like, who are they? Yeah, I mean, but university studies, general studies, Flynn team, gateway, and focus. But I'm Flynn team, so my focus is on Flynn team, but also general studies, university studies, making sure those people are taken care of. And you represent us. Pretty sure I did. I'm gonna start utilizing more once rolling. The problem for me is I want to use social media. I just don't know how to get out to Flynn team. Yeah, that's a big reason why I decided to go before. It's hard because it's very easy. I live next to all my people.
Yeah, you live like invite everyone to face the and you tell them to do the same, and share all the things. I mean, it'd be a little, I guess you'd be easier to get engagement from people that are like giving for activities. That way, it would be like a team members. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. George is a cool guy. Yeah, he's a good one. White looking needs to have. Whatever you get. Squadron 3. Oh, yes. You know Griffin and all those guys? I'm on 4-7. Okay. Awesome. So you'll be working with Mr. Griffin then? You tell me if he gets down the line. No, don't tell him I said that. I don't know. I know he is, but I don't know if there's anyone else who's gonna be starting. I don't think so. Maybe one else that have like
So, the objector is not working, however, because this team is running center, D is running out of pose, she said it was okay, she can do without power. Yeah, so with that, this evening you'll have 5 minutes of presentation getting it out.
Well, howdy, Senate. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know I'm going to be emailing this out because I do have pictures so trying to show y'all, which I feel like are important. So I'm going to speak through this part. So about me, I'm the International Studies, Politics, and Diplomacy major from Crowley, Texas, but most importantly, I'm allowed to cover the Fighting Tech Side Class 2016. Hey! Woo! So, you don't know where Crowley is, it's Fort Worth. So involvement on campus. I'm a member of the Gamma Phi Beta sorority where I've been a numeraire educator and ritual chair. I have been in class council since my freshman year and last year served as quality director. I have served as the last 2 summers as a fish camp counselor. I'm a Spencer Leadership Conference delegate, an lecture delegate, and I will start my term in May for 2016 class agent. So qualification. I have served on the 66th and 67th session in the Legislative Affairs Committee. Some of the bills that I have had to go through are the Lone Star Showdown Revival Act, asking for an ANTU game, the Standard Coldest bill that y'all continually heard about, and the Keep Bumper and Red State Secret. Outside of that, I have served on both a Texas Governor campaign and Student Body President campaign as media marketing and development chair. So job as speaker pro temp, because I feel like this is something that y'all heard a lot of people like, this is like pro temp's job, why are you trying to do it? So first, preside over Internal Affairs Committee and co-chair the Operations Committee, oversee the development of new senators, enforce the absence of policy, and create a weekly updated list on the website, organize SGA banquet, finances, and mostly the website. So current issues, the last time the website was fully updated is October 8, 2014. The lack of development, y'all heard about that so far, pretty good tonight, and the CPR hasn't completed in 2 years. So what CPR is it is a community report from each committee within SGA. So we sit and focus our allocations next time around for finances to really see where those committees are. So Fred, you can fix this. So website. I want updated tabs for current legislation and archives tab currently exists. So far, nothing's been like moved over. I want a new tab for things in committee because currently people don't know anything about legislation until after it's passed. And I'm going to be communicating more efficiently with students. So it's one of my pictures. If y'all see this, it's from Auburn's website. And granted, we are not Auburn, but they have a pretty good website. So what I basically want to do is essentially make our communications tab on our website more like theirs. All are check it out. I want to work on social media with the CA chair and make sure that we're working really as a cohesive unit. I feel like a
ball has been dropped there, as well as work with the executive branch to make sure the students are being aware of the Senate. Outside of just the two big bills that everyone's heard about, concealed carry, the Vision and Impairment Act, which are two very good bills, but Senate does a lot more this last year than that, so I'd like for them to hear we all work hard. Okay, so something I really want to change is there's going to be an absence form, and it looks like this. And there will be, no matter how to see it, but I'm going to email it out, and it will exist. So basically what's going to be is something you can go on, you'll have a link, and you're going to fill out reason what, why, instead of a phone call or a message or a text. It'll all be in one page for the student. On top of that, there's going to be updated attendance that will look like this. That will be on the website and email for y'all. So as soon as it's updated after IA meetings, you'll know your attendance is, which has been an issue and has been led to a lot of vacancies over the last year. So I really want to make sure that that's kept up with. Secondly, the development centers. Because Spencer and new member educator, I feel like I am prepared to develop new centers and work with IA chairs pretty much what Aaron and Joseph both said, phenomenal guys for development. And so my goal really is to, and the reason why I want to present is to make sure that y'all can hold me accountable when I start doing my job. So basically, I would like everyone in this body to A, write a bill by the end of the session, and B, activate it on the floor. I feel like development centers, and oftentimes when people think of students, and I think there are 20 really hardworking people that they consider, and the rest of the body just either shows up and does homework, or leaves early and comes back before attendance is made. So basically what I want to make sure is that when people think student senators, they think leaders. And I think the first time to do that is really by effectively communicating and developing senators from the first start. So that's really what I am excited to do as speaker. And without that, I am here to witness. It is Mr. Murtha.
Mr. Murphy, you'll be granted the remainder of Senator Dean's time, which is about 35 seconds.
All right, well, howdy, Senate. So it disheartens me that we wanted to skip this presentation because just because she's unopposed, she deserves to have your time, and she deserves for y'all to want to know what her vision is for this body. This body represents the entire student body, and y'all need to take it seriously. So whenever you have someone, campaigning to be your next leader, make sure to listen to them. Aubrey's perfect for this job, and I don't want to take any more of y'all's time because we got a lot more people to go through. So thanks for getting me off this.
There you go. And now we move to a period of debate. Is there anybody in any debate against nomination Senator Dean? Seeing none, I'll just deem debate one-sided. And we'll move to a period of I wasn't here.
Can we just say aye?
Point of information. It has to be valid.
Just wanted to write.
Yes. Like exactly how we did last time.
So I did write
Senator Rose, Corcovado Caucus. I move to suspend the rules that interfere with using a voice vote for this.
Just pass them out. It's the rules.
I'll give Congress more information. Do we need to fill out the entire thing?
You should fill out the entire thing. As per the Senate bylaws.
Point of information.
I don't know.
Yes, sir. It's in.
No.
Aubrey.
AUBRE space DEA.
This is not voter interference, by the way.
No.
So I heard next year we're going to try and put in the whole tax.
If they say confirm or breaks, it's fine, right? Doesn't matter. See, some of these things.
good? We'll figure it out. Just
Any other ones?
Yeah.
Alright, has everybody sent their ballots in? Any outstanding ballots?
Problem solver. I really wasn't trying to send it to these like friends. It's just like it's kind of pointless to take this much time. Like I really like it. It's just this is a waste of time. You know? And I appreciate. She explained. She was like, I really want to like have things where hold me accountable. And I think that's cool. But in general, I feel like a lot of Senate can be summarized in an email. Huh? Yeah.
But complain about that. It's not my place to complain.
You don't even have a first name yet.
One more week. Hey.
You solemnly swear to faithfully execute to the best of my ability the duties of the office of President Pro Tem Board of the Senate. For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association. To uphold the honor of the same. At all times to protect the welfare of the student body. And to promote good relations. Between the students. And those concerned university. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Speaker Pro Tem Dean. She was elected by a vote of 64-0. And we will now move into a period of nominations for rules and regulations. Are there any nominations for rules and regulations? Senator Freer.
I nominate Senator Thomas.
Senator Tonka been nominated. Is there a second? You see multiple seconds. Senator Tonka, do you accept his nomination? Any other nominations for rules or regulations? Seeing none, I'll close the period of nominations. We'll move to a 5-minute period of presentation by Senator Tonka. And we apologize for technical difficulties. This is the second time this happened this year. So it's not very good. Third, okay. Not very not. So you got 5 minutes beginning howdy.
All right, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
I had a pretty funny David Letterman top 10 countdown I was going to show you guys, but I can't do it without the PowerPoint, so I'm just going to go over a few introductions. I'm a junior petroleum engineering major from Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm in a lot of organizations on campus: Society of Petroleum Engineers, American Association of Drilling Engineers, Theta Tau Engineering Fraternity, Student Senate. Last year I chaired academic affairs, wrote plenty of bills for rules and regulations, chiefly with the focus of holding internal affairs accountable. And that's something I really want to get after is our officers being the people who are doing the most in Senate. So that's one of the things I'm running on. And one thing that I really want to achieve this year, and look for your support in a few weeks or months, is rewriting our election regulations. What happened this year was a disaster for SGA. Nobody won in terms of SGA looking good or the leaders looking like they're on top of anything. I know it was personally very difficult for Emmett Douglas the way things turned out, and that shouldn't be happening to Aggies. If we can prevent stuff like that from happening, we're going to do it. So we're going to have a complete overhaul of all of those. And with that, I'm going to yield my time to the character witness, Ms. Amber Bragg.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I'm Amber Bragg, and I'm a proud member of the class of 2011. Woo! Old guy here. Graduated degree in psychology, and I'll be attending middle school soon to be an orthodontist. And I'm currently a field sales leader with a company that you guys probably have heard of, Southwestern Advantage, or how it's mainly known throughout the Aggie world as that crazy book tent. I'm sure you guys have heard of. So here's the thing though, but because of that crazy book thing, I was thankfully to be able to pay my entire 5 years of education here at A&M by myself with no debt when I graduated. What was awesome is through all of that, I've gotten to work with some amazing students like Kevin Flatton over here and Ryan Nichols, Kyle Kelly, your current student vice president, Stevie Former, and then of course, Senate Sanka. And I met Senate Sanka a little over 2 years ago during his freshman year. It's petroleum engineering in Corpus Christi. One of the coolest things about Carlos Sanka is the fact that, I don't know if most of you guys know this, he got into MIT. He was accepted to MIT. He actually chose to come to A&M, which is a pretty phenomenal thing. So much so that I've paid him to tutor me several times in physics, and I credit my A's to him in physics 1 and 2, so thank you. Not only that, I think one of the biggest things that with the whole Southwestern Advantage thing is he was one of the 15 students I hired to go work with me that summer of 2013. Worked over 80 hours a week going door to door selling educational tools for families in their homes, which takes a lot of guts. And not many students will choose to work 80 hours a week for 13 weeks of their summer break. And one of the biggest things that sticks out to me with Carlos is not just his hard work at that summer, but also his dedication into who he is. He had this great idea to bring a motorcycle to the book field, which he was not really all that great at driving quite yet. So he had many wrecks to the point where it wasn't really that drivable anymore. So what he decided to do is like, Amber, I'm out here to hit my goals and have a great summer. So he wanted to work on foot. So not only was he selling books door to door 80 hours a week, he was doing it while on foot for about 4 or 5 weeks, which most people would be just destroyed mentally and emotionally, and it would just kind of just throw their attitude out the window. But what's amazing about Carlos is that he kind of takes those kind of challenges and just hits them head on. He had some of his best weeks in sales during those weeks on foot, which is pretty incredible. It just shows a lot of perseverance with him. Another thing too, he's phenomenal with women, so all the moms loved him that summer, and he is single, by the way, ladies in the room. Very good looking, handsome young man. But a couple of things that stick out to me, he did obviously his academic affairs chair last year, he's writing some rules and regulations this year. The biggest thing that I encourage you guys to kind of look at, obviously he's probably the only one running right now, but the biggest things that stick out to me and would give me confidence that he's definitely your best candidate. Is the fact that he's honest, he's trustworthy, and not only that, is he is a man of character. A couple of things that are really important to A&M. He also has the best proven track record for the position, my point of view. Again, intelligent, hardworking, great decision maker, and problem solver. He's also run a business on his own before as a 19-year-old college student. You know, he has a lot of responsibility that he carries, and he's super passionate about A&M, which is why he ended up coming here. And he looks forward to making it even better. So Thank you guys. Carlos is wonderful, and I will yield to the board.
And with that, the presentation ending, we'll move to a period of debate. Is there any debate against the nomination of Senator Sonka as Rosary? Seeing none, I deem debate one side, and we'll move to a period of voting. Please just quickly fill out the ballot, and pass it down so you can get it done that way.
Do you need more ballots? I mean, I'm your ballot.
Oh, y'all
Do you
can
have
take it out.
unmarked ballots?
No.
I don't.
Ballots. You didn't take pictures, did you?
No, I did. I was.
Who needed one? Who needed one? You need one?
Hey, Greg. Greg. Looks good.
A vote of 63 to 0. Carlos Sonka is elected our next rules and regulations.
I, David Carlos Sonka,
Do solemnly swear.
do solemnly swear
Faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
faithfully execute to the best of my ability
The duties of the office of Rules and Regulations Chair.
the duties of the Office of Rules and Regulations Chair
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
To uphold the honor of the same.
to uphold the honor of the same
At all times to protect the welfare of the student body.
at all times, to protect the welfare of the student body
And to promote good relations
and to promote good relations
between the students
between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
Congratulations.
And now, and now we're moving to a period of nominations for the community relations chair. Are there any nominations for community relations? Senator Rose.
Senator Rose, First Caucus, I nominate Austin Henderson.
Is there a second? We have multiple seconds. Senator Henderson, do you accept this nomination? Great. Are there any other nominations for community relations chair? Seeing none, I will close the period of nominations. You'll move to a 5-minute period of presentation by Senator Henderson. You have 5 minutes to get it out.
Okay, I'll keep this real short. My name is Austin Henderson. I'm a sophomore petroleum engineer from San Antonio, Texas. So, whatever we're doing now. Okay. On campus, I'm involved in many different things. I'm involved in Bucks, which is a Christian fraternity. I'm in SBE, which is Society of Petroleum Engineers, professional society major, pre-law society, and I'm an impact counselor. So from there, let's go to Senate involvement. I've been in Senate since I was a freshman, so since the 66th session, so 2 sessions ago. And I was on the Finance Committee my first year, and then my second year I was on Rules and Regulations Committee. Aaron and some other people like that. Okay, basically, my goals as CR chair is to continue the work that Lauren Felder has done so far. She did a great job this session of like coming up with a plan to set up the student liaison with the city council, which is really important thing why we're doing this right now. I have some other plans, but you guys are able to hear them, or I mean, we can just move on to the next person.
Are you leaving time?
I'm using my time.
Is there any debate against Senator Henderson as community relations chair? Seeing none, we'll move to voting and you guys set up. Just so y'all know, we just looked up the bylaws to see if we can get around this, and it specifically says ballot vote with no privilege of moving other ones. So we're completely bound to do this. I'm sorry.
Didn't think anything of it at the time. Community relations? If that's what you want to do, and you got 5 minutes. You don't need to. I'll extend it.
Yeah, but like I'll be back here.
Was that his?
That's it.
Did he post it?
Yeah, he emailed it to me.
Cool. Okay, give it Josh.
Josh is right.
Okay, Josh.
That's not bad.
Got it. Josh.
Joshua is when it's formal.
Yep, I
It's what I value.
I've bought that just invested about $24 million in Australia. And I value 4 seconds.
Would you pay for this?
What do you versus should you pay for the
Frankly, I need to nominate myself. I'm excited.
With 60 votes in favor, 0 against, and 3 abstentions, Austin Henderson is our next community relations
Do solemnly swear. To faithfully execute to the best of my ability. The duties of the office of community relations chair. The duties of the office of community relations for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association. To uphold the honor of the same. To uphold the honor of the same. At all times to protect the welfare of the student body. At all times to protect the welfare of the student body. And to promote good relations. Between the students and those concerned with the university. Congratulations.
And now, in the interest of getting races out of the way that are widely unopposed, we will move into a period of nomination for student services committee chair. Are there any nominations for the student services chair? Senator Springer.
Senator Springer, College of Engineering. I nominate Senator Carlson.
Are there any seconds? Multiple seconds. Senator Carlson, do you accept this nomination?
Thank you, Senator Springer. I do accept the nomination.
Great. Are there any other nominations for student services chair? Seeing none, Senator Carlson will be given a 5-minute period of presentation, starting at now.
I'll be out of
All right.
Hi, Senate.
Hi.
My name is Zach Carlson. I'm just going to make this brief like the others have. A little bit about me. I'm from Flower Mound, Texas, a business honors and marketing major, class of 16A. Woo! And I'm really excited to be a student services chair this year. I have lots of great ideas that I'd be very excited to talk to you guys all about. Hopefully we'll have committee reports at the end of this meeting where I'll get to talk a little bit more about my vision and the goals and what student services are going to look like next year. But in the interest of time and because he took time out of his day to come out here and talk, with that, I will yield the remainder of my time to my character witness, Michael Martha.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Sorry, 4 minutes.
All right, howdy, Senator.
Howdy.
Okay, so again, we have an unopposed race, and I want y'all to take it, really, understand the gravity of what you're doing. You know, these people are running unopposed, but these people are going to be leading you. Okay, and that doesn't mean that you have to write down your name, but you should write down Zach Carlson's name. Not only because he's my roommate, not only because he's one of my best friends and going to be, in my wedding and hopefully, throughout my life being there with you guys, because he's going to do the best job. There's nobody else in this room, at least that I know of, that could do the student services job better. He has had multiple bills come up that have worked on student services, from the golf cart bill, or not golf cart, oh, we don't like that. The golf bill that allows all y'all to have memberships there. The Let the Aggies Eat bill that extended the Ag Cafe hours, and a bunch of other different bills, as well as he has the administrators basically on his side. He knows a bunch of them. He's worked alongside them. So he's going to be off on the right foot. So I encourage y'all to write down Zach's name with honor and get that done. Thanks again.
With the period of presentation, Andy will now move to a period of debate. Is there any debate against Zach Carlson as student services? Seeing none, we'll move into a period of voting. Please, so if you can fill it out, have your vote, for, against, or abstain, and let's get those counted.
Wait, y'all didn't get that?
Oh, awkward.
I actually voted 3 times.
Stop paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh, a
Take it off your hands now.
It's been relatively
So, except for speak, don't worry, that should be the last pose. Myself included, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I was hoping at the end of the pose.
No, you?
If you want to debate for me, I would love that.
All right. Anything I can say?
Springer?
Oh. You want this? No, I'm just taking that. You have to say. Just blow it off. Like that. It's magnetic. No problem.
Really?
Are there any outstanding ballots? With 58 in favor, 0 against, 0 abstaining.
Student services.
Chair. Congratulations.
I, Zach Carlson, do solemnly swear to faithfully execute to the best of my ability. The duties of the office of State Office. The duties of the office of Student Services Chair
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
To uphold the honor of the same.
To uphold the honor of the same.
Student body.
To protect the welfare of the student body.
And at all times to promote good relations.
And at all times to promote good relations.
Between students.
Between students.
And those concerned with the university.
Those concerned with the university.
Congratulations.
All right, with that, also in the interest of knocking out these races that we believe to be uncontested, we will open the floor for nominations of the Legislative Affairs Committee Chairman. I saw Senator Rose first.
Senator Rose, Corpus Caucus, I'd like to nominate Austin Springer.
Is there a second? We have multiple seconds. Senator Springer, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Great. Are there any other nominations for Legislative Affairs Chairman? Seeing none, we'll move to a period of presentation. You'll have 5 minutes. Beginning at Haggard.
Well, howdy.
Howdy.
I'm gonna make this pretty short and sweet, just like everybody else. I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about me quick. I've been the LA chair for the last 2 years. My name is Austin Springer. I am a member of the Project Study class of 2016. Hey, woo! I'm from Western Texas, also home of the here. I'm Terry Stoller as our few people in this room. And then I won't touch on the PowerPoint for the interest of time, but some of my policy goals this go around is continuing to strengthen our relationship with the legislature, being in off session, to stay in contact remotely because obviously we can't go to Austin. And oftentimes they're not there anyway; they're back at home. But to be effective next year, we need to continue to stay in touch with these people, let them know the issues that are coming up in A&M. So to keep our momentum going from this session, it's very important that we have someone that has connections to quite a few people, and I believe that I have those, and I can help keep us connected. And I think that was incredibly beneficial coming from last year to this year, and I think we can do the same next year. One of the biggest things I want to do is keep campus growth responsible. And the legislature controls a lot of initiatives like 25 or 25, and they can closely monitor, put limitations or rules on wide expansion like that, and really keep our interests at heart. One of the big accomplishments of our committee this year was the concealed carry on campus legislation. Just passed the House committee this week. Assuming that Governor Abbott signs it, which I'm fully confident that he will, it should be law as soon as January 1, I believe. So look for that's change we made in here going straight through the legislature and affecting Aggies as well as everybody in Texas as a college student. So I think that was some very good work from our community. And with that, I'd love to take some questions.
Are there any questions for Senator
Seeing none, we will now move to a period of debate. If the senator could exit the room. Moving to a period of debate, is there any debate against Senator Springer as legislative director? Seeing none, I will deem debate one sided. We'll move to a period of voting. And once again, if you guys can just fill us out as quickly and efficiently as possible, this will be the last race for tonight.
Oh, wait. Oh, here I have some like. Second time. Hey, Brenton, I have a couple of extras. Extra votes, or I mean, I can ride on Is it all paid now for between 60
They're making fun of me because I had a secret.
Maybe you can join. Might be like.
That's what
You play an instrument? You got your own thing. I'll teach you.
Yeah, I've heard.
Please, with a vote of 53-0 with 3 extensions, Austin Springer is our next legislative
solemnly swear faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
Faithfully execute to the best of my ability.
The duties of the office of state office.
The duties of the office of Legislative Affairs Chair.
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
For the Texas A&M University Student Government Association.
To uphold the honor of the same.
To uphold the honor of the same.
At all times, protect the welfare of the student body.
At all times, protect the welfare of the student body.
And promote good relations.
And promote good relations.
Between the students.
Between the students.
And those who serve the
University.
university. Congratulations.
now we'll be moving into a period where we'll now swear in the student vice president. Student vice president-elect, I'm sorry. For a couple
I state your name.
I, Joseph Benigno,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of student body president
the duties of the office of student body president
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same
at all times, to protect the welfare of the student body,
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body,
and to promote good relations
and to promote good relations
between the students
between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now, in interest of getting through this meeting, we only have this room until 10:30. We'll move into a period of committee reports. If any of the committee chairs would like to have a brief. Yes, sir.
Do we have to have a committee meeting in between this?
No, that's not required. So we'll start with you, Chair Springer.
All right, thank you for your confidence in me. I appreciate you giving me the chance to complete the briefing. I'm excited to start my third term as the LA position. I think we're going to have a very productive year this year. And, I look forward to meeting each and every one of the new senators. Congratulations on your election, and let's have a great year and be productive. With that, thanks again. I'd like to thank you.
Seeing none, thank you, Chair Springer. We'll now move to the committee report of Chair Sonka.
Chair Sonka, rules and regulations. We will not be having a committee meeting this week. However, I am committing to making myself available to you guys. Already been approached about a bill. If you want to come see me, I'll be at the youth club at 6 next Wednesday. And I will sit down with you and help you craft your legislation, make sure the template's right, you understand enough rules to get it through, do business in committee, and just give you the best chance to succeed right away. And so for those of you who don't know, the University Club on the 11th floor of the Robert. And that's next Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Are there any questions for Chair Thompson? Seeing none, we'll now move into the Student Services Committee report.
Oh, hi, everybody. Like my two predecessors, thank you guys for the support. I'm really looking forward to this upcoming year. I didn't really get a chance to talk about some of the changes that I'm hoping to implement in student services, so I'll touch on that real briefly. My biggest thing is, in the past, student services chair has had the authority to appoint subcommittee chairpersons, and we've had subcommittees of dining and transportation. But really, over the past couple of years, that's really just been a title. So one of my biggest things is making sure that we actually have those subcommittees. I also want to implement a new subcommittee, a student life subcommittee. And so what that is, that's going to cover rec, housing, and campus safety. And so with that, kind of like Aaron talked about a lot, and even Senator Hood, during his election, Senate development is something that's really important. And so, I want to work with the rest of the IA team, Aubrey and Aaron, and just to continue to be there for everybody else and help you guys develop. And, like Sonka said, I'd love to be available. After this meeting, I'm sure Aubrey will send out the contact information for all the chairs just elected. Please reach out to me. I'd love to get to know every single one of you and tell you a little bit more about student services. Open any questions.
All right, are there any questions for Chair Carlson? Seeing none, thank you. We'll now move to actually our community relations chair is not here. He has an impact meeting. So we will now move to a period of committee reports by the Speaker President Board.
I will not be meeting this Sunday. Obviously, we're going to meet the next Sunday for Easter break or Easter break. So basically, attendance, obviously, as my presentation is going to go through Speaker Pro Tem. However, as long as the season is still in session, both Brandon and I have to operate under the same email. So in order to kind of cut that in half, I'm going to operate through my personal one, and then we are going to kind of switch over. But absence questions, we're not going to start the form until 68 or 67 ends, just the spirit of keeping everything organized. So if you have absence questions, any of that's going to go to the speaker pro tip email that y'all been emailed from so far. Also, I have like a board underneath operations committee. This is the executive director of operations, the director of administration, the director of communication, and the director of information technology. And I wanted to open that up to the Senate body before I open it up to campus. So if you're interested in just getting a little bit more involved outside of just a committee, like their kind of committee, or being a chair position, contact me on Facebook or email the pro tem.
Are there any questions for Speaker Pro Tem? Seeing none, we'll now move to a period of executive report, starting with SVP Benito.
All right, howdy.
Howdy.
I'll keep this brief. I know we're getting late, but I'm looking forward to this for a little while, so bear with me just for a second. Something I want to just touch on really briefly is that every single one of us in here are fighting sex seconds, right? And you know what that means, the fact that we are all fighting sex seconds, means that there's no reason that we can't work together very well for the purpose of this university. As well as our executive cabinet to do this upcoming year. I think many of y'all maybe don't know that since I was a freshman during the 65th session, I've been involved with the Senate one way or another until now. So freshman year, I just had to attend meetings and write bills as an assistant. 66th session, I was elected. I served as a senator in this same body, obviously, and I was there for the 66th session. For the 67th session this past year, I was the executive vice president of the Student Government Association, so I served as the liaison for exec cabinet to the Senate, so I came to the Senate meeting as well. So I've been at just about every single Senate meeting here, everyone that I could be, except my finance test on Wednesday night, so I sometimes miss. But just about every Senate meeting since my freshman year, I've been here, and I believe in this body. I believe you guys love this university and are going to work to make it better, and that's what I want to do too. So there's no reason we can't get along. I look forward very much to working with Aaron. I think he's going to do a fantastic job. Very qualified. Obviously, I'd like to say congratulations to all of you guys. You know, you put yourself out there and you put your name to be voted on by the student body, and that's something I do personally. It's an intimidating thing to do. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for all of you who made yourselves uncomfortable for the purpose of ANN. And I think that is worth something very valuable, very special, that all of you are the type of people that want to sacrifice your time and your efforts and be here on these nights to make this place better and leave it better than we found. So I'm very much looking forward to working together. I think, you know, again, maybe y'all, some of you don't know, but I was on board with concealed carry from the beginning. I was on board with the discussions we were having about, you know, tuition in the fall. I completely agree with the measure that the Senate passed, saying we don't want to raise it because we weren't informed properly. And so I think I have a history of agreeing a lot with the Senate and what you guys have done. I think in a lot of ways you've done a fantastic job. Senate has gotten better every single year since I've been here. You know, I ran, after seeing the 65th session with some of the downfalls and some of the successes, I wanted to run for the 66 to make it better. And I think undoubtedly 66 got along better and it was a smoother session than 65th. And then 67th has been even better than that. So right now, we have a ton of momentum with the cabinet, and the Senate has never worked together as well as the past year. My knowledge, and deserves a ton of credit for that. Kyle deserves all the credit for that as well. And there's no reason all of that should take a step back this coming year, and I fully expect the momentum to continue so that our branches can work together. Thomas was not over here, and I was talking to him earlier, and he was in the 62nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, or maybe 3rd, 4th, and 5th, whatever it was. He was around a long time. And I was just told, we were talking about it, and you know, we both kind of agreed that the Senate is only as productive as cabinet lets it be. Because theoretically, I can veto kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that. And I can only be as productive as y'all can be. We got to work together. You know, our productivity is directly related to our ability to work together for the common purpose of ANN. And I ran on the idea, and I said it 1,000 times, and I'll probably say it 1,000 more times next year. But we want to preserve the best for our past and promote the best for the future. And what that means to me is preserving the things that make Texas A&M different and better than every other university. And
That's the spirit, tradition, and core values. And I think we can all agree that those are the primary reasons why this university is so great. And then the best for the future, that's where you guys come in. Those are the new ideas, things that y'all are going to accomplish this next year. That I get to send my executive team out to go and talk with, the director of transportation or the president of the university or the CFO or whomever it may be. You guys are the ones that we get to send y'all. We get to carry your message to the administration and advocate on behalf of the student body. And that's something I couldn't be more thrilled to be associated with a group of students who have given up their time, given up their efforts, given up their comfort of clothing choices, so that you could be here tonight and make this university better. And so I'm proud to be associated with y'all. I earnestly mean that, and I look forward very much to working with y'all in this coming year. And so with that, I'm going to leave this. I don't want to take too much time, probably but thank you guys so much. I'd love to take any questions y'all have. Thanks again.
Any questions for SVP Bacon? Seeing none, any questions on that? Now moving to the period of executive report by Chief Justice Cooper. You have 8 minutes.
Well, howdy, Senate. Congratulations to everyone who got sworn in. I think it's the one early night and they ever had in play. Hey, since this is the first meeting of the 68th session, I thought it'd be fitting to announce my plans for the upcoming session. As many of you know, I'm a member of the class of 2016.
Hey!
Woo! So I am a junior, and so I thought it'd be a good idea to sort of, let you know what I'm deciding to do. I've thought a lot about the year ahead, and it's a tough choice, but I've made my decision. I am resigning immediately from the position of Chief Justice. I'm doing this because I'm formally announcing my candidacy to run for the position of Student Senator in the fall. I am quitting the court abandoning the court in order to save it. For too long, this chamber has neglected the court on one important issue: the office curing machine. We go around professing a belief in 3 equal branches. The court lives at the behest of the legislature. Every time I have to ask Aaron Mitchell or Hannah Weaver just to get a cup of coffee. We cannot have 3 independent branches. If every morning I have to get legislative clearance just to get a cup of coffee. We tried reaching out to our own senators and even started hashtag campaigns, like hashtag Curings for Ags and hashtag where the cure. But still, there is nothing. I'm launching my Senate campaign to address this important issue. There are 9 exhausted justices who need your help, and I hope you'll stand with me and join me and caffeinate with Cooper. April Fool's, all that, except for the fact that we continue to use the curing machines. Just a couple announcements on the judicial board. We did pass 2 bylaws to sort of address some critical issues that happened during election season. We have 2 new rules. One is that parties in cases will no longer be able to submit the election regulations or the Constitution as evidence. It doesn't make sense to submit the law itself, the rules itself, as evidence in a case. The second thing we're going to require to do is that the Chief Justice every year will have to hold 2 mock cases, and the judge and the court will run through the process all together, sort of in the flow of things, even in that huge gap of the fall and start of the spring semester when nothing happens. So those are really the only 2 big announcements, and the third one being, of course, that I'm using the curing machine.
All right, are you in time?
Yes.
Any questions for Chief Justice Cooper? And actually, I have one. Chief Justice Cooper, if there would be a conflict between the Senate and the judicial court about the curing machine, where would we seek relief for that?
See, that's
where's the curing court?
See, that's a very, very tough question. Perhaps we need to create a specialized court like the specialized patent court. But one thing that we have to remember is that in student government, we have to promote interbranch unity. And this is an easy way we can promote that interbranch unity by allowing the justices to use the Senate curing machine. I think it's very important that even with the possibility of those disputes, we make sure that we can have interbranch unity.
Senator Bond, off-campus office. Do you guys actually
No, we actually don't.
All that is.
Are there any more questions for Chief Justice Cooper? Seeing none, thank you. We'll now move to a period of executive reports for the speakers, that's me. And guys, I want to thank you guys for putting your faith and your trust in me. I have a lot of hope for this coming year. This is going to be an incredible year, and I do think we can get things done for students. That's what I ran on. That's what I think we can all do together. We need to display unity. We need to work hard, and we need to work for students, keep the goal in mind. So I'm not going to take a long time here. Sorry this meeting took so long, kind of the formality of having to do the ballots for our rules and regulations. Chair wants to change that here. But other than that, I won't take any more of you guys' time. You can get out of here. The rumor subcommittee is a real thing, so if you want to go to our bands after this, there'll be plenty there. And other than that, thanks again. Thank you.
Same for roll call.
Can't leave, please stay seated. Any questions for me? Seeing none, we'll move to here to close the roll call.
Okay, if I say your name wrong, sorry. Let me know. Okay. SPP, let me know.
Howdy.
Chief Justice Cooper.
Howdy.
Speaker Mitchell.
Howdy.
Myself. Chair Santa.
Howdy.
Chair Henderson. Springer.
Howdy.
Carlson.
Howdy.
Gordon. Zhang. Allen.
Howdy.
Ives.
Howdy.
Walker.
Howdy.
Roach. Renfro.
Howdy.
Smith. Chapman. Stybrook. Cyborg.
Howdy.
Lander.
Howdy.
Rose.
Howdy.
Balthazar. Deleon. Hendricks. You all speak up. Nichols.
Howdy. Please stay in order. Please stay seated until a roll call.
Hess.
Howdy.
Keith.
Howdy.
Lambert.
Howdy.
Page.
Howdy.
Parker. Ebedat. Kubiar. Howdy. Kupla.
Howdy.
Luz.
Howdy.
Schaller. Howdy. Sosa.
Howdy.
Day. Howdy. Flavin.
Howdy.
Roseanne.
Howdy.
Humble.
Howdy.
Golden.
Howdy.
Blackman.
Howdy.
Bonin.
Present.
Cantwell. Chen.
Howdy.
Collins.
Howdy.
Cuevas.
Howdy.
Is that right? Dewberry. Emmons.
Howdy.
Finney.
Howdy.
Giles.
Howdy.
Gill. Hemphill.
Howdy.
Hood.
Howdy.
Hutton.
Howdy.
Cruz.
Howdy.
Levy.
Howdy.
McNair.
Howdy.
Mendoza.
Howdy.
Miller.
Howdy.
O'Donnell.
Howdy.
Hill.
Here. Howdy. Sorry. Howdy.
Turpin. Cook.
Howdy.
Sweet.
Howdy.
Bosworth.
Howdy.
Grimminger. Rusty.
Howdy.
Simpson.
Howdy.
Statham.
Howdy.
Strother. Trano. Turner.
Howdy.
Patel.
Howdy.
Habib.
Howdy.
Perez.
Howdy.
Woo!